Okay.
And there you go. So, hey guys, if you're wondering about what this video is about, this is going to be a little side series for our 4 or 5 players. It might end up being a 6-player game, but when it comes down to it, I might end up putting a hiatus break from Call of Cthulhu. And that game, you don't really want to know what goes on in that game because it's so much 18 plus there. But other than that, I'm gonna set up a little scenario here. So currently, Cipher ended up returning to Mayor Willow's house, and when it comes down to the extent of the information that she ended up getting, well, let's just say it took a bit of an interesting turn between the two. And as
I'll say.
yeah, I'm trying not to mention what went down, okay? So
Mm-hmm.
basically, both of them are currently laying down in the guest room in Willis's house. Currently laying down underneath the covers of the blanket, as Willow is pretty much laying on her side of her hip, kind of still looking at Cypher. She's kind of just giving off this gentle expression for a bit, just pretty much gently brushing her hair out of her face, just to let her relax for a bit. And,
Yeah.
we can take it off from there.
Well, Cypher is laying there and pretty much is flushed and blushing. When a thought comes across her mind, uh, uh, Mistress, um, I know you're. How old are you exactly?
Mm.
Uh, I'm not trying to pry, but I, I know elves have long lives, but from the way you talk, you've been around a lot longer than standard elf, if that makes sense.
And I have been living longer than I should have been. Back then, it was most people now call it the medieval century, Renaissance century,
Oh,
basically.
I
I
noticed.
was from that time, and
But, oh, Cypher looks amazed, astonished, and just like, you're not a lich, are you?
no,
Could you?
I didn't happen to know. I'm not.
Oh, I mean, I won't judge, but usually to have a long lifespan, well, I'm crying too much. I'm so,
No, you have every reason to question me about my origins and whatnot. The incident back then, I was with my original group of friends. We were on this job, but I was the only one that was capable of detecting magic, and I ended up being teleported.
you were
Uh,
telling
there's this old saying that when it comes down to the circumstance of a event that is meant to happen, I ended up being trapped in a time infinity trap. And when that happened, my consciousness slipped away. I didn't know how long I was out. I didn't know how long I was stuck. But around the year of 1840s, I ended up reappearing right in the center where the town was is now currently standing.
wait, did you did you found this town? Did you start it?
No, the I ended up reappearing here right in the center where the town is currently standing. Originally, it was a small camp being run by Aaron Thornton's family lineage. And my old friend who took me in, he ended up adopting me as a sibling. And the reason why I know this because Aaron Thornton's family lineage has kept my origin a secret for as long as they can, just so nobody wouldn't be able to find out about my actual origins as it is. And, and when it comes down to it, Eldians are extremely rare when it comes down to the huge mana pool from their life source as it is. Their Eldian trace source, so to speak.
Wow. She's trying to process this. So, for so long in the Renaissance, is is that it? It's
His grandfather, around that time period, he
mhm.
ended up having somebody that managed to look into what condition I was in when I finally was able to become conscious. Essentially, I was cursed with something. They couldn't really quite tell what spell or ritual of some kind it was, but it was extremely powerful to where it's permanent. To where it would end up if by the person who's been cursed by it would end up again inflicted with pain if attempted to be removed.
If you try to remove the curse, you're put in pain?
Essentially, feeling my body being ripped apart bit by bit, and if I end up stopping, I would end up miraculously be healed.
So, are you cursed with immortality?
Well, that was their theory was. Yeah. I I pretty much assumed for a while.
But who would want to curse you to live forever?
That I don't really know. And that's just one
Dang,
thing that I'm still figuring out to this day.
it's wow. So you're saying no matter what happens, you just won't die? Or is it just aging? You won't age? Like,
Essentially, whenever I attempt to try to remove it, I would end up dealing with, well, dealing with being at this age, at this appearance. Back then, I was around 24, but now I end up lost count.
oh, I mean, not a bad age to get stuck at. Anyway, you so someone cursed you with a spell. Did you have any enemies? Anyone who would want to inflict this type of? I guess they would assume it's torture.
But I can only be able to assume a couple of things, but again, I wouldn't really know.
You, you wouldn't know if there was someone who had problems with you.
No. I end up having a good reputation. We came down to the arcane arts, magic, and upkeeping the knowledge of things, but when it comes down to like people wise, who that are not really fond of me, I would have known by then, but up to this day I wouldn't know. I can only
Um,
assume it has happened to do with the vampire attacks as of late, but again, I can only assume.
uh, speaking of, you've been here since basically the start of this. What is going on with the vampire attacks in here? Why are they here? Why are they attacking this place? Like, vampires usually don't. They usually don't stay in. I mean, they make their own homes, but they are settled in a place for a reason, whether comfort or defensive measures, or because there's a source of food for them, considering how they feed, and Well, I've heard that there are people that have been disappearing. I can only theorize that it may be caused of the vampires, but I'm not completely sure that it's just the vampires making people disappear. I, what is going on with this town? There's so many rumors out there of so many strange things. You've been here, you know the history, eh?
You want to know why there's a festival every annual year?
Yeah, there's something with the festival.
I'm the one that made the festival in the first place.
You started the festival? Wh- Why?
Back then, when I was still getting used to my new surroundings, back in 1840, there was an old tradition that Don Thornton, Aaron's grandfather, around that time,
Mm,
he
mhm,
had a tradition which was meant to empower those who are capable of shifting between their hybrid form, or in this case, their bestial side, every full blood moon. And during that time, it was a way of testing out new generations of warriors, or people are capable of being able to send out their best warriors to challenge each and every single vampire tribe. In this case, clans.
like, you challenging the vampire clients?
Not, not in this current present day, no. But back then, that was what his grandfather did. It was a way of being able to keep peace, but most of the time, some people, especially when it comes down to adventurers or people that are looking to help out during the community around that time, they would end up being welcomed as new bloods. And
Um, and so you started this tradition, like they started it, and you added the festival to it.
I redid the festival because back then it was brutal.
So you're trying to make it safer.
Yes.
And how did,
Hence, hence the reason why I'm always either at certain places. I always end up reinforcing the organic runes to be a bit more enhanced than last time. I have been I have been looking into the disappearances by myself before, especially when it comes down to them miraculously disappearing, and then the next day or week they would end up reappearing dead, drained of their blood.
so the vampires are behind some of this? Why not confront the clients then? Or are you not on good terms with them anymore?
They're not on good terms with the family that he was adopted into. Especially when it came down to Aaron's father. Yes, I know that I used to be lovers with him, but I chose to break it off because I didn't want him to die of any cases that I would have been involved with. Plus, he deserved better to be able to age and die along with a woman who's capable of being able to pass away with him than having to deal with a woman who's not been able to age for centuries and not be
So,
able to age.
did you break it off with him for his sake or your sake?
His sake.
Just kind of looking at Willow. Okay. So,
And oh, sorry.
shh, jump. I'm recording. It must have been tough. It must be tough having a long lifespan and seeing those around you grow of old age. It would, I guess I would shut myself away from people too. How many people know that, well, you don't age?
Aaron, he already knows because his father has told everything about my history, my story, and anything that has been related to their family bloodline for how many centuries or how long their bloodline has kept going. So he knows, but I have about 4 more people that I have known back then, and I'm pretty sure they're still around.
Hmm.
Because I have sent letters out to them, and whenever I do, I always get packages and envelopes from them.
Is that why you choose to not get close to people?
I chose not to get close to people because of how unique my condition is. But most importantly, I do need to keep a font up, so to speak. That essentially that would end up allowing me to be able to move freely, but more so over, it would end up helping me be able to at least get to know people that would be wanting to come and visit this piece of land that my old friend who did end up passing away around the time when I appeared.
Mm,
It,
okay, I understand. But they they said the old sheriff disappeared. Has he been found?
no. And that's the reason why I find it a bit odd, because whenever we end up coming across the bodies, they always end up appearing at each and every single different location that has a large significance to the history behind how this town got built. And back then, there was a funeral pyre in the center of the town. with a statue depicting a spiritual warrior ascending up towards the skies.
Spiritual warrior? Was this a normal person or one of these hybrid bestial folk?
I don't know, but I do have my own theories. Especially since there has been small talks and cases about eldritch gods and beings that are old as time would sometimes end up taking different forms to be able to visit the mortal plane. And
Yeah. I did see before coming back here, there was someone, a hybrid, did, well, what's his name? Then Cadence. No.
I talk about now the star.
Alistar, yes, him, was chasing after him. And if I didn't know any better, they kind of look similar. Well, when it comes down to their fur and patterns, except the other one looked very old and tribal. Um, very. Wait, hold on. Maybe I can. And she's going to sit up and going to point to a spot and do minor illusion to make the illusion of what she saw of this person.
If you want, go ahead and describe how they end up looking like. To the best of your
Uh,
ability, of course.
so two-legged, kind of again, almost like hybrid wolfish form. Black fur, if I remember correctly, and they had tribal markings. I believe there was a jewel on the tip of their tail, uh, and a jewel around their neck. And looked very ancient, almost shaman-like. And he spoke in this gruffly voice as he said, I believe he said, he called Alistair grandson.
I can only assume that this person disappeared right after you brought Alistair back.
Oh yeah, Alistair passed out and he slipped away while I was checking on Alistair. It was either trying to keep chasing him or check on Alistair, who did not look good when he passed out. He looked pale and he came out of his jackal form, so I wanted to make sure he was safe. And then I came here to well get some answers.
And you unfortunately end up found out the hard way.
Well, yes.
You are double though.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I did end up saying that you were quite adorable while it happened.
She blushes and looks away. You really have to stop saying that.
I needed to be honest. But this is the first time I've ever heard of this person or being. Plus, it's a bit the first time of me hearing the description of it. But I would end up having to look at my archives and see if I can find anything about it.
Do you have information on the tribes that started here?
Not exactly. Before Aaron's father went missing, he ended up making a favor to someone. He didn't really quite answer who or where, but he was being awfully secretive about it. So he ended up asking this someone to come grab the archives book for the history of each and every single tribe that was once here and lived together before they all ended up splitting. But unfortunately, I wasn't there to witness the book being moved, so I wouldn't really know where it got moved.
So there are books on the tribes, their history or legends. You just don't know where they are.
Yeah.
So it's possible that they're just somewhere in this town, but hidden away. Would there be a way? Is there anyone who still follows the all tribes that we could talk to?
This is the only thing that I would end up mentioning. There was somebody that was once living here around the year of 1920s. But when it comes down to it, they did end up deciding to move, but if I remember correctly, they end up moving towards the city of New Orleans. I just don't know the exact address.
So, there's it's a lead at least. To to find where they are. Um, and what about, okay, going back to the vampires, what's the situation with them? The way Alistair said that he was a hunter of the vampires.
I founded him when he was a little kid. He did end up losing his family and most of his tribe members. But I was the one that was on patrol that day when that massacre happened.
Yes. The vampires attacked his tribe, his family.
His parents were killed. And but before they ended up being killed, they did manage to kill off one vampire before they were turned into ghouls.
Cool. Wait, vampires? They can turn into ghouls?
Once they end up being drained of their blood, they would end up being resurrected as undead ghouls. In short terms, think of it as Martine's term as zombies.
Usually they turn into spawn. This is interesting that they turn into ghoul.
The reason why they happened because his parents were both were jackals, or people who are capable of being able to resist certain type of bites. But their entire life force were sucked dry before they could even be able to survive that attack.
So you took him in? Did somebody you raised him?
I ended up putting him underneath the care of Aaron's mother. And when it comes down to it, both of them did end up working together, but Alistair ended up having this developed hatred of getting revenge against the vampires that has been enacting these attacks as a way to deal with the trauma. But, well,
That's understandable.
I did occasionally visit him once in a while, but...
Well, I think you might need to visit him a little more, considering the things he gets up to when you're not around.
I did try to keep up with that, that's one thing.
Yeah, I think
And
you just might want to tell your sheriff that he shouldn't be, he shouldn't be doing certain things in the police station.
I did end up telling him to be at his house when his rutting season happened. I did end up being honest about that, but when it comes down to Aaron, he is stubborn as his father. And, well, do you already know how that went? And he did end up managing to make a sending spell to work, which resulted in me getting a huge migraine from it, so I was hoping to have Alistair to be able to drag him back to his house and, have him be dealt with right there. But, again, I just don't like stubborn people.
Well, I'm just saying it's not a good look if people are looking for help in the police station and they walk in hearing a lot of grunts and moans going on. It's not a good thing. That Arthur guy certainly was not happy with it. He kind of got mouthy with the sheriff, and the sheriff hit him. You might want to talk about him not hitting civilians.
Yeah. He again. I would end up probably have somebody else be the sheriff for the time being. Cause being the sheriff for him, for his sake, it reminds him of his father.
What?
So
if it's not a position he can handle, he shouldn't do it. But that's it's not my business. You're the mayor. You make those decisions. Um, I just thought I'd let you know in case you didn't. Also, that reporter lady was also there and witnessed all that, so you might see that on the news. Just a heads up that she's definitely writing it up, writing about it.
Oh, there's always a spell I can use which will erase that information.
Yeah, you usually I would not be one to mess with people's minds or
No,
memories.
more than I can. Erasing it from paper, I meant.
Oh, from the paper.
No.
Okay.
And I would end up agreeing with what you just said. I'm not fond of people's memories and minds being played with. So,
Mm. Memories are a precious thing. That's why we write things down, archive things, so that we can never forget. You, you've been around for so long. You've seen a lot, centuries worth. What is there worth? Is there worth going on for this town? Like, are you happy here?
I stayed here for a long time. It's because I wanted to keep this place going for Aaron's grandfather. He ended up making me promise to keep this place running until I would end up leaving the position as mayor to someone else. But Aaron's not ready for it, and he has no other family members or relatives that are capable of able to take it. So, for the time being, whenever the time is right, I would pass that mantle down to him. And once that's done, I'll be, in some sense, I would end up either move out or keep living in this that place that I end up building just to hide away until I find a way to be able to age and grow old and possibly have a family or someone.
Yeah. I mean, some people would love to be able to live forever. It's so people have learned, some great scholars give up a lot to be able to live forever, even willing to sacrifice their souls and become liches or something of the matter, making dark deals. You're someone who wants the opposite. You were cursed and you want to find a way to break it. And this is a nice place here. Very cozy.
Oh, there are a couple of places throughout the house, and I do have my cozy nook. Which, again, you may not want to see that.
Oh, why not?
Are you sure? Because when it comes down to it, I was going through multiple phases. And, well,
I can only imagine, considering you have the time to try out a lot of things. Uh,
Mm.
Especially learning what you've done. Um, wow, that's all I can say. You, I, why do you have an interest in me? Or
I.
is, go ahead.
No, you go first.
Or is, I mean, I know I did agree to help you relax and not deal with the frustration. If that's all this is, I'm okay with that. I don't want to be a bother or anything.
Look, you're not a bother. That's one thing. Again, it's just something about you that is just very unique, and you have that look of wonder that I used to have in my eyes. That look of wonder, the wanting to explore, to learn more, and that drive. But when it comes down to you having that faded out look, and if you end up going to go on about saying that how horrid you look, you don't. But how I see it, you're like a beautiful winged creature that's meant to be spoiled. And I mean it as it is, because again, you're the one that did end up making me feel like my old self again.
Made you feel young again?
In tactical terms, I am that of a grandma, if that's what you end up saying. But when it comes down to it, yes.
I mean, you look good for grandma. I mean, if other people knew your secret, they'd probably want to be cursed too. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a bad joke.
Yes, it
It's,
was.
I I'm sorry. Um, well, it's just you've been through a lot. You. It's just surprising that you didn't. More people didn't try to come after you in a romantic type of way. You didn't have any other suitors other than um, well, your previous relationship.
It was short.
Is you shut yourself away from people. I don't know. When I first saw you, just instantly knew there was something that I need to know. I need to know more about you. And wow, did I learn a lot. But just, I don't want to. If this isn't just a here, right now thing, just I just want to know. I don't want to get close and then be pushed away. Don't. I'm no fool. I know who I am. I know what people say about me and like I just don't want. And she just sits there, kind of curls up, and she's just gonna stare off.
I have. There was someone that I once have known back then. If you end up deciding to find the one that is drawn to you the most, would you end up pushing that person away to protect them from yourself, or would you end up taking the risk of going through it and quite possibly learn new numerous things about them? I have felt like I don't deserve anyone. I always end up isolating myself because, for one, I didn't want somebody to go ahead and try to use me as an experiment to learn the secrets of immortality just so they can use it for money. I'm not like that.
Mm-hmm.
When it came down to you, though, I gave her mind back to how I had that curiosity, that look of wonder, that look of need to learn more and make memories of places that I would have ended up going. The memories of the friends you end up meeting along the way.
So
It
when go ahead.
it did make me realize that I should stop pushing people away just for their sake, be able to have someone else. That's the reason why I'm being completely honest to you now, because I prefer not to keep any more secrets. I prefer not to push any more people away for their sakes. But again, when it comes down to you, you're like a blessing that's been sent. And if you think you're beautiful or not, to me, you look like a cutie that's meant to at least be spoiled and be appreciated once.
And you just see she blushes all over again. But that damn tail so wagging and waving around, and she knows it, but she can't stop it.
It's adorable to see you getting excited just by looking at your tail, moving back and forth.
She, and she tries to make her tail stop, and it stops for a second. But once she stops focusing on it, starts swinging again. And then you see her grab her tail with one hand and hold it down.
You gotta learn to at least accept the compliments. Again, though, when it comes down to hearing those sounds from you, it is quite pleasant.
And you see she completely wings just wrap around her. Please don't say that.
What? I would still keep on saying that regards to it, because for one thing, that's not gonna stop me from saying it. You're an adorable little wingling.
I'm gonna, you're gonna my face. And again, she's just turned from blue to purple. Just traveled all the way down, and my God, I need some air.
Don't what, you're gonna end up gnashing between your tail and keeping your tail stuck in between your legs.
No,
Yes.
be quiet. You don't. Hush.
Says the one who asked for it.
Hey, you. Hey. And she hops and wings cover her again. But she forgets that she let go of her tail, so that's
It is adorable, you know.
just stop it.
If you want to at least feel a bit more appreciated, then probably get some lightweight clothing. I'll be upstairs, down the hall on the left. And with that, she'll end up standing out from the guest room and, well, from the bed. And she's obviously naked. So she's just gonna straight butt naked walk out of the guest room with her hair, which you do remember it being short, but as now you end up looking at it, it is pretty long, all the way down to where it's covering her buttocks, and down to where it's behind her knees, as she kind of just walks out of the doorway, and she takes a turn, heading toward the staircase towards the back of the house. As she just starts walking up the stairs.
Oh my god. Yeah, she's probably just. She's like, oh my god. Oh my god. It hurt. She's like, oh, wow. Look at Rapunzel over here. Her hair gets so long. What? Why? What the hell is she doing to me?
Roll 1d100 for me, please.
Oh, sure. Let's see. Let me open her page. No, that's not you. There's Cipher. D100. That's a 9.
A 9?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna pull up my list here.
Oh boy.
It's a 9. Okay, roll a d20 for me. If I'm getting feeling what this 9 is, this is gonna be funny for a dear old little Cipher.
A 17 on the D20.
17?
Yeah.
A 9 and 17. Okay. Oh boy. For anybody who's watching this, you're gonna have a good time hearing this.
Yay.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm ready. Lay it on me.
With a roll of a 9 and a 17. Cypher, as you're sitting there, having these thoughts running through your head, remembering the moments of where you did end up offering to help relieve most of that stress. Then flashback to the aftermath of what it feels like to be dominated, and some God knows good feeling of reminiscent way. You do end up kind of remembering to yourself of wanting to figure out what she ended up having in her room. So you pretty much have the urge to follow her up the stairs.
Yeah.
And depending on how you end up wording this, you may or may not grab the thin layer blanket to cover yourself up as you go up the stairs.
See, what happened is, while she's going through these and thinking these thoughts, and she's wanting to walk away, she just gets that urge to follow that booty, and almost unconsciously she gets off the bed. I think she starts. She thinks about grabbing the sheet, but then she hears her going up the stairs, and she's like, just rushes after her.
As You rush after, running up this one-way staircase, and as you end up making a turn towards the left, since you're standing at the end of this hallway, you do see a big two-way door that doesn't be closed, but you do see at the front of this door that is currently closed is a hanger that has a very elegant 1940s dress hanging off of it. And as you end up just kind of slowly walk up to this door, you do end up realizing that there's like not one but 4 hangers hanging off this door handle. They're just filled with different pieces of dresses. One is a mixture of this 1980s dress that, for one, does remind you of that clubbing black leather dress, but with a hint of fishnets laced through it around the waist area. But as you end up looking at it a bit closer, you do realize it is a Playboy bunny one-piece bodysuit.
That's what I was thinking. Like, is she describing a Playboy bunny? Yeah, I think she's like just stops and looks and is. Oh my God, was she a bunny? I think. My goodness. She kind of looks at it. I wonder. Roll myself a dice to see if she's gonna try. To see if she's gonna try it all.
There's a Pacific DC for this, so this is gonna be funny. I'm not gonna say it.
All right. Well, what am I rolling?
Well, but what are you gonna roll? This is your choice.
Okay. I will roll. Yeah, let's. I'm making an intelligence check.
Okay.
It's an 18.
Okay. So you do look at this piece of clothing that you're looking at, and since you rolled that 18, you do have the urge to try it.
She's just kind of thinking, and she's thinking back to what happened, and how she just kind of gave in and melted, and she's like, as she's having that thought, that feeling going through her body, she finds herself just describing it and just trying to see, first how you kind of put it up against yourself to see how it looks. Then she just starts to put it on.
It fits your body type and your figure pretty well. And it is pretty comfortable to you. Despite having this look of a leather look to it, but you do end up realizing, since you did end up putting this on, it has that comfortable cloth feeling.
She, kind of looking at herself and seeing how it feels nice to her. And she just has like the thought of like, Oh, I'm gonna be her bunny. I'm gonna be her bunny. And she just like kind of even starts bouncing like towards her, like looking for her. Well, where did my mistress go?
Well, again, with the door that you're going to say, that you only see this door only in
Mm-hmm.
this hallway. So she did end up saying if you end up coming up the stairs, turn the left side. So
He's gonna open the door gently and take a look inside.
so you see in the room before you, your face would immediately go for this calm and collected expression to holy fucking shit. Did I end up coming across a leather latex dungeon?
Yeah. You look around.
Because like, the surroundings that you see, it has the feeling of that 1980s feel. Even if that style is updated, the layout of this room is covered from head to toe, from ceiling and from the walls. The floor is just that old-fashioned black stained wood floor. But when it comes down to the rest, you do end up realizing that most of the walls in the ceiling in this room is covered in this cushiony black leather cushion of some kind. And you do see like a couple of spaces here and there that there's like places you can sit off from where these walls are. And when it comes down to what you're about to see, as you end up turning, which direction are you looking towards? Left side or right side?
Right side.
Right side? Okay, so you would end up seeing a additional extended room that's linked into this pretty latex dungeon type of feel room. You see like a master bedroom, and there is a lamp that's on, and you do see that right on the inside of this room does end up putting the feeling to shame of just seeing this Renaissance furniture style, but it has that black and red velvet type of aesthetic on the curtains that's just draped back and hanging off of these wood poles. And right above the bed, you do end up seeing these latex strap black rope that has these metal cuffs hanging off of it. And as you could not bear the thought of just trying to like inch in a bit more, you do end up continuing to look towards in that direction. And as you decide to like kind of just tiptoe your way inside, around the right corner a bit more, since you're looking into this bedroom, on the corner of the left side of the master bed, you see Willow dressed in this you wouldn't really know how to describe this, but the dress itself is pretty much giving you dirty thoughts. As it is, you can't help it because your face kind of started to heat up a bit. As just watching her kind of looking at herself in this small handheld mirror, but you do end up seeing her wear this piece of clothing. But she has the long thigh, lettered latex, high heel boots, and she's wearing this thin black piece of a dress. Now on the sides of her hips, you do see her hips. For the side of the slits itself, are these golden chains looped around her hip line. And then around where you end up seeing her torso, you do end up seeing an additional open breast lintel slot of more chains, just giving off this a pretty good feeling of a dominatrix at play here. But when it comes down to doing so, she does end up pulling on a masquerade type of a Fox X mask for a bit. As she's not really paying attention that the fact that you're there, just staring at her. If you end up seeing the picture, it's in the chat. So.
Oh, yeah, I see it. And yeah, I just she's she's pretty much dripping, to put it kindly.
What the hell is going on? What's this way thing into?
She's screaming. Stop interrupting. Ask your questions later.
Oh no, you guys can talk. You guys can talk for a couple of minutes. Since Cadence decided to come at the right time.
Because you I woke up, read your message, and I thought you were going to chew my ear off or something. And then I come in and I hear that.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Oh, and because you didn't say what Cassandra was doing during this time, she's totally taking pictures of all of this.
No. So to simply say, this is like a little side thing for Cipher, since I would end up saying around the time when you guys end up coming back with Alistair in hand, since he's unconscious. Let's just say that Cassandra and Alistair are both at the sheriff's office while this little dominatrix attraction side event is going on. So
Right. It's our first not to get dominated.
And with, with that lovely sentence, I bid you all adieu.
Hey, we found something to make jump run off.
I'm going to say this. His character's going to get annoying fast.
Oh, the reporter.
Because he doesn't think that a reporter isn't going to get punched in the nose. And I think he's going to be his character's going to get up in everyone's business. That is really going to that's a real way to get PvP started, Rune. You might want to check.
I know. What else do you think I end up saying? He might end up dying first. Anyway. Anyway,
Never know
Yeah.
if a werewolf will tear his throat out for doing what's natural to him.
like again, when it comes down to it, I will be recording like these side things just so you guys will be able to watch back to these videos and be like, oh, this is what I end up doing for my little side thing. So,
I like it. Yeah.
Side stuff is our own side stuff. You can't butt in.
Yeah. No one can butt in because it's your own side thing.
And since you ended up mentioning about that, you have a little special side thing.
You have your own side thing.
We all do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I actually have two things going on right now. To be absolutely honest.
And like again, depending, like for after I'm done with this little thing, depending on how Missy Cipher Sassy Pants decides to do what's next, I will end up ending off this recording here. And if you end up wanting to,
I got all night. The holiday means nothing to me.
okay, well, it's up to you. If you want to do a little side thing or whatnot.
I can do it. I don't go to bed until about 6 a.m. anyways.
I have to stay up regardless because of the dogs. So
I can stay up with you, so I will mute and Sap in that shit.
alrighty, so anyway, whoever's watching this, I do apologize, but we do tend to talk, and I enjoy it. So, Sass, how does little Cipher take in this very intrigued and sexy little sight? Since she's currently wearing a 1980s Playboy bunny suit. While she's watching Miss Willow dressing up in this pretty sexy little attire and a little masquerade mask on her face. What would she do?
Well, again, totally tripping. And pretty sure it's almost obvious. Oh, she would slowly approach the door. Her wings are covering herself as she is blushing. As nerves start to kick in, but there's this other part that is just like must go, must must go to her, must like it's like this force that's pulling her towards. She's almost doing it single-mindedly. But enough of her nerves is to make her wings kind of wrap around herself to kind of cover herself as she slowly approaches and knocks on the door frame to get Willow's attention.
Oh, so you decided to film me? Oh,
And she kind of looks down again, still blushing, very bashful. And before she loses her nerve, she opens her wings, showing the suit she's wearing.
that actually suits you pretty well. I would admit.
I, I, I hope you don't mind, Mistress. I wanted to look nice for you.
You know what would look very nice to me?
You, you, I know. Yeah, again, very obvious that, yeah, she is flustered. Her tail is swaying as she's just eyeing her up and down. I am sorry for taking your clothes. I understand that I should have asked for permission first. I'm willing to accept any punishment you deem.
Oh no, legally. The only thing I'll end up saying though is like again, and each and every soft clink of her high heel boots hitting this black stained wood, hardwood floor. Every single step, you would end up seeing her guy just walk towards you. As she would end up like gently move her hand down behind you before she gently grips onto your butt cheek.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, she lets out a whimper. Uh, 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 does not fight it at all, and mistress.
Hush, no. Just enjoy your little remedy of tonight. And with that, she'll end up leaning in to kiss, and I'm just gonna end it off there.
All right. And then off there with the door closing. Yeah, camera's looking like in the bedroom, the door closes. And you just start hearing, it's just.
Okay, no more. No more. I did it, so I'm gonna end it off there. But,
Yeah.
yeah, when it comes down to it, you gain a 1 point of a good charisma with Willow.
Ooh. I get to add a point to my charisma. But just with Willow.
This is only with Willow. It will not be put as an additional point for your charisma, but when it comes down to being around Willow, you'll have that 1 point activated.
I gotcha.
So put that in your notes if you can.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. Again, for any of those who are watching this, please make sure to actually stick around. If you end up liking this, please click on the like button. But if you end up deciding to comment and end up being like, why am I listening to this? I don't know, go watch something else, since apparently this is wasting your time. But if you end up wanting to stick around, please click on that subscribe button, and that would be it of this video. I'll see you guys later. Anything else you want to say? Or two of you in this case?
Saga's probably going to be sore in the morning.
Yeah, well, depending on how you put it.
Well, stick around for more kinky stuff.
Or leave a comment on a suggestion of what might happen. But anyways, that's the end of this video. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye.
Peace.